Welcome everyone to this AMA with the chaps from IgniteDAO. Chaps, do you want to introduce yourself to the audience? Give a bit of a background in terms of how you got into the crypto space. I'm sure they're really interested to hear.
Sure. I can kick off. Thanks for having us here. It's nice to do an AMA. First of all, well, my journey into crypto. I've been into crypto around at the end of 2016. I worked as a consultant for Microsoft Enterprise Software, and I started investigating Bitcoin around the end of 2016. And from there on out, I started investigating Ethereum. I saw the whole ICO boom happen, and then I saw the scalability issues that were plaguing Ethereum during the ICO boom. And I think it was around June or July 2017, if I'm correct. I found out about Zilliqa during SG Innovate in Singapore in an event. I'm not sure if my memory, it was halfway 2017, maybe it was a bit later. But from there on out, it started. I started investigating the white paper. Although I don't understand all of the math, I do understand conceptually how it worked. So yeah, I've seen Zilliqa grow through bull and bear. And that's in really short my crypto journey.
Well, it's good to have you in the Zilliqa ecosystem. And Milan, an OG the Zilliqa ecosystem. For those that don't know you, do you want to give a bit of a background about yourself?
Yes, sure. Hi, everyone. Thanks for kind of joining the AMA. So yeah, I've been involved in crypto since 2017. I remember the exact moment when I got the aha moment. When I was sitting in the classroom and when I was studying international business in England, and I remember going to the Ethereum Enterprise Alliance page. Before that, I already knew about crypto and blockchain, but I thought it was very experimental and kind of didn't take it that seriously. But once I saw that page, I can even see me sitting in that classroom, knowing that, okay, this is not like an experiment, but it's turning into kind of a niche market. So it got me really excited because I was thinking, okay, what do I exactly do with my life after I graduate? So it was perfect timing for me. And then I started to look to kind of finish my thesis and then work in crypto at the same time. And because I studied international business, I thought, okay, it might be good to help kind of mostly Asian, Chinese project internationalize towards the Western market because of the culture changes and that. So I started working crypto in 2017, mostly helping kind of Asian projects internationalize towards the Western market. And then, did a stop here and there with exchanges. And then 2019, I got in contact with Zilliqa. And then, I heard about Zilliqa, about kind of the sharding solution that Mark just mentioned. And then got me excited. And then I met the team. And then I joined Zilliqa. And one of the best moments, I was meeting Matt, of course. But met Zilliqa, then I just continue my journey, and now we're at IgniteDAO. Yeah.
So talk me through that then. You kind of become part of the Zilliqa ecosystem. Milan, you obviously worked at Zilliqa. You're obviously sitting there thinking, right, we've got an idea. What was the story? Let people know kind of what the thesis was behind it.
Yeah, so when I joined Zilliqa, I always kind of back then was really interested in kind of bottom-up solutions, especially from kind of my background when studying business is think about new kind of organizational designs of how people can work in organizations. And then back then it was pre-DAO, right? Now everybody's talking about DAOs, but back then I don't think the word was even used. But there was some kind of bottom-up approach on the Neo blockchain called City of Zion, where community members could help kind of build stuff from the ground up instead of just relying on a foundational team to do everything, right? And I thought, why don't we do that for the Zilliqa blockchain as well? And I mentioned that to the team. So people from the community can also come kind of build innovations that could help bootstrap the ecosystem. So yeah, we kind of set up a council with community members. I pitched to the team. They kind of thought it was interesting. And then I met Mark. Maybe Mark, you want to continue here? I met you.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, well, we met at a Zilliqa community event in Utrecht, in the Netherlands. It's in the middle part of the Netherlands. I don't know, what was it, 2019?
Yeah, end of 2019, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. And initially we didn't had much conversation, but afterwards I thought like, hey, that guy looked interesting. I knew of course Milan was working for Zilliqa, so I thought, hey, let's connect apart from that meeting and see what kind of person this is. Basically, from the first time we met each other, it was like, okay, hey, I like the way you think. I like your ideas and how you view the world, how you view Zilliqa as a project, etc. And from there on out, it was still back in the days called Zilliqa.
Yeah, that's right.
Milan was already working together with other community members to get something off the ground. So then I joined Zilliqa. We started with the idea of creating staked seed nodes because then back in the days, for me, Zilliqa was one of the first alternative layer 1 chains who came up with a scalable solution. And afterwards, you got a whole lot of other alternative layer 1 chains like Avalanche, Near, etc., who are all proof of stake based.
Yeah.
So the staking narrative really started to come on. Similar as
that's certainly been a topic of conversation recently, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has been, and especially with Ethereum as well, of course. So yeah, then we thought, okay, hey, we would like to catch this narrative and apply it onto Zilliqa as well. So I think that was one of the first actually, tangible ideas we've got that actually are still serving its function as of today. And that's also where Zilliqa or eventually IgniteDAO got its first revenue stream to become more sustainable. Because in the first part it was donations, a good idea, and some help from other people left and right. But that's no sustainable business. So we needed something to be able to function on our own. And the staked seed node operation, delivered on that.
Yeah, so I guess just for people watching, in terms of why it's critically important, the seed nodes allow you to get revenue stream from that, and then your kind of ambition is to then take the rewards from that, or the profit from that, and then drive into building applications off the back of it. It's really about giving as much back to the community as you possibly can, because I think there's sometimes this argument that while there's other places to stake, it doesn't necessarily mean that those rewards come back in to drive the ecosystem forward, which I quite like about the IgniteDAO philosophy.
Exactly. It might be, I don't know if it's a hot debate, but it might be rational to stake with a staked seed node operator who only charges 2% or less, because that's the most rational. But yeah, we're in here for the long term. We're using this commission to develop Torch, develop a smart contract wallet, to develop the IgniteDAO, other features. So yeah, as to how we see it, the commission is not something for us. It's for us to use to actually build out the ecosystem. Because although Zilliqa has been around for, I think we've been live since January 2019 from memory. I would view the DeFi ecosystem still as a bit nascent, early. We are getting some traction. We are getting somewhere, but I still see it as nascent. So there needs to be, in my opinion, some sort of centralized push to get things going. And for that, there simply needs to be revenue to be made. And the commission stream, allows us to do that.
And just to add on that, we're basically incentivized to have the Zilliqa price to go up, right? Because if the Zilliqa goes up, our revenue source will increase, which gives us more money to build and hire more developers, right? So I think the solution Zilliqa came up with is kind of having other parties being able to create revenue streams to build out the network and not just rely on the foundation itself is really good, right? So I think that's why we'll always think about solutions that could directly kind of increase utility and value and transaction network. That's how also we came with the name IgniteDAO, right? Because igniting the network, because with the new mechanism, Zil became also sort of deflationary if transactions will increase. So yeah, the argument would be that I know people want kind of when they stake, they want maximal return, but if you just put a small portion aside for development, that small portion can create a kind of a flywheel, exponential effect to increase the price, and way outperform that the amount of money you gave for development. And we hope not just us, but also other SSNs and teams can create like sustainable revenue streams to kind of keep building out the network, so everybody will benefit. And you have this win-win situation where also composability comes in.
Yeah, I think that's an important aspect you've touched on there. It's just not obviously for Zilliqa as a kind of business to kind of drive their application. We obviously had that announcement yesterday with rolling funders driving a business. It's equally as important to get the likes of IgniteDAO, Avali Finance. We're creating some great competition within the Zilliqa ecosystem, offering, I guess, capability that wasn't there previously. So I'm quite excited to kind of see what's coming down the pipe. And I think obviously a lot of people are tuning in to kind of talk to or understand a bit more about the Torch wallet, which I guess is a byproduct of some of the ideas in terms of kind of where you're at and what you think by having an application like this can do to drive the Zilliqa ecosystem forward. So I don't know if you want to kind of talk to the audience about what the Torch wallet is, kind of, and what the ambition is around that.
You want to kick off, Milan?
Oh, sure. So basically, where we started at SSN, we wanted to kind of, we were kind of stuck with other wallet solutions because there wasn't any wallet interface we developed ourselves. So then we thought, okay, it might be a good idea to develop a wallet solution ourselves. But then a better idea was develop a wallet solution, I guess, that is much more better robust and is kind of able to innovate as the blockchain space innovates. So that's why me and Mark had a discussion about creating a smart contract wallet, which is now, you hear more talks about smart contract wallet, especially with all the, I guess, systematic problems of centralized solutions that have happened last year, where non-custodial solutions are becoming more kind of available. And then our idea was, therefore, to create a smart contract wallet to help more people onboard into Web 3.0, but also make it more seamless and at the same time innovate in that domain. I don't know, Mark, if you want to give a little bit more info about the smart wallet itself and the design aspect.
I guess sure. just on that, before we move into that, I guess what is the significance, just thinking about that in terms of Zilliqa obviously moving towards EVM as well. I think that's coming 21st of March, if I remember correctly. Is there a kind of a story there that you're kind of leaning in on as well?
Yeah, okay, please go ahead.
Yeah, so basically, the whole idea for smart contract wallet, just to give a little bit of a short explanation before Mark gives a little bit of explains a little bit further, is that a smart contract wallet is basically your own wallet becomes a small piece of software that we can kind of composably integrate with other applications and features, which you can do with like wallets that are currently available in the ecosystem, like Moonlet, Atomic Wallet, etc. Once you create that, you get this composable nature where your wallet can kind of integrate more and more and more with all these other different applications. And so we started off with writing it in Scilla and have, for example, innovation like instant staking, auto staking. But now the next step, obviously, Zilliqa is becoming EVM compatible. So also going to launch an EVM wallet. that allows the composability to also go towards Zilliqa's upcoming kind of EVM ecosystem, but also beyond that, make it more seamlessly multi-chain. When other chains, for example, want to connect, or just being able to fork or integrate some of existing infrastructure from other chains, which helps kind of bootstrap the Zilliqa ecosystem a bit faster. Because if you think about it, Zilliqa's kind of, Mark and I both live in the Netherlands, so Zilliqa is a little bit Dutch, like the Dutch language, very niche in one country. But Solidity, what we have seen so far, even with all the other languages, other chains, it's more like English, right? There's some kind of social construct where everybody wants to speak English, wants to speak in Solidity. So we think integrating that inside Torch in the future will just unlock a lot of potential for Zilliqa, but also from getting more people from the outside inside the Zilliqa ecosystem.
Yeah, I think you made that point, didn't you, Mark, that our DeFi is probably quite nascent. So I think from an upside potential to drive more TVL, see more people come across, people see building on our chain, I think that gives us a kind of a good opportunity for people to come in, even from a first mover advantage, which is, I guess, where you chaps sit in terms of offering that tooling and infrastructure that's not currently in place at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And for us, it's about being fully integrated into the Zilliqa ecosystem, because we think with a wallet, especially if you have a smart contract wallet, then you're able to automate a lot of things, make it a lot easier for users to navigate on the Zilliqa ecosystem. As we still find that blockchains are technically hard in the sense that they still require a lot of technical knowledge or use of other software that can be complicated. That's something we're experiencing ourselves as well. How do we make the user experience in such a manner that it's easy to use for your everyday user, the granny benchmark, so to say. So yeah, and that's still something we're learning about as well. Of course, it's not that we have the perfect solution in that sense, but with this architecture, we are able to actually automate things like staking, for example, or limit orders.
Okay, so let's come back or hone in a little bit on this Torch wallet. You kind of mentioned a couple of things there, Milan. Instant unstaking, that sounds quite good to me. I think a lot of people obviously are used to staking their ZILs, getting their APY, but when announcements are made or things happen, obviously people quickly want to unstake, and historically, until recent times, that hasn't been a capability that's existed. So do you want to kind of maybe talk to that for a second?
Yeah, sure. So as we developed the instant unstaking feature, the Torch wallet, we were brainstorming what feature would be very useful to start off with around the staking features that already exist. And then because the way the smart wallet is designed, we are able to kind of create this new feature with instant unstaking. Basically, what we're doing.
I'm going to chime in here.
Yeah.
One step back, because initially we had the issue of, okay, if we have a smart contract wallet, that's all great and all, but how are we going to attract users? Because people that are staking currently, then they would have to unbond their stake, wait about 12 to 14 days, and then create a smart wallet, then stake again via the smart wallet, and then they're able to start using the smart wallet. So we thought, okay, that's way too big of a hurdle to adopt a new wallet.
It's a lot of friction there. That's for sure.
Yes, it's a lot of dedication that you need to start using our software. So then back in the days, one of the Scylla team members, in combination with Amrit as well, they proposed to introduce Swap Delegate, in which it becomes possible to swap your delegate from one address to the other, because that would allow us to easily onboard users without having them go through the burden of waiting 12 to 14 cycle days, and then only then to start with their experimenting with their.
So to be clear on that one,
wallet.
If you're in another wallet at the moment, it's possible to directly unstake from that wallet into another wallet. Is that correct?
well, not unstake.
Sorry, but move your ZIL from one
to move your ZIL from one address to another address. Yes, correct.
No impact or anything at all to you as a staker?
No.
We also automated that in the wallet. So when people plug in from other SSN with their seed visual ledger, they automatically get a kind of a symbol appearing of, hey, you have, if you want to switch, you have your SSN on other, you have your ZIL on your other SSN. So we also kind of, that's again a useful feature of the smart wallet. We automate that process. The only thing they have to do is click, make sure they have enough ZIL, and they don't really have to do much. So yeah, it's very I guess user friendly what we created, but that's why it took so long as well to launch the wallet, making sure that we have all these different features working together seamlessly.
Okay. So people can easily create a smart wallet with a new address, place their stake or move their stake from A to B, and even if they stake with other SSNs, of course we ask them to support us instead of other SSNs. Although we do want to remain agnostic in the sense that we think it's a bad move if we lock users into our wallet where they are only able to stake via us as SSN. So we do allow people to stake with other SSNs as well. But basically, apart from that, onboarding new users, we thought like, hey, but maybe the swap delegate feature we can actually use as something, as an extra feature in which we allow people to bypass the bonding period. So initially it was a feature introduced for allowing onboarding of new users. And then we thought, okay, but we can also create an extra product out of this in which people can skip the unbonding time.
I think you're muted.
Is that better? Can you hear me again?
Yeah.
So that sounds really interesting. I guess the question I would ask is, if I want to unstake, what is the impact to me as a kind of an end user as part of that process?
Of course, the ZILs that are being staked, they still require, as it's on protocol level, they still require to be in unbonding, to go through an unbonding period. So what we came up with is a solution in which we provide liquidity. We create a pool in which unstaked ZILs remain. And if the market becomes volatile or for whatever reason there's any time pressing issues for which you don't want to wait but want to have your staked ZILs returned to you instantly, you can go through our smart contract wallet, tap the instant unstake button, and then you'll immediately receive, if the pool has sufficient ZILs in it, you'll immediately receive ZILs back minus a fee. And yeah, in comparison, there's of course also the movement of liquid staked ZILs. And yeah, we have also intimate knowledge of the liquid staking derivatives that are being created on Ethereum. We've been following that progress for a while. And because we're doing sort of the same in that sense, but I'm very interested to see how this will play out on a longer term, because as to how we see it, a liquid staked ZIL has its use cases, but as DeFi is still relatively new and young, we're really interested in seeing how our solution versus a liquid staked solution will come up, because eventually we have the same issue in the sense that we're trying to skip the unbonding period, and it will cost you something, and there is a source of liquidity, and the liquidity can come from sort of like an AMM model, or like us with a liquidity pool. Both are interesting products. I think there's definitely a need for it, and it allows people to act very rational in the sense that, okay, I can always stake my ZILs if I want. If I see that the market goes up or down or whatever, there's a reason I want to unstake my position immediately. there are avenues I can take. So what we try to aim for is increasing the total amount staked, because relatively the total amount staked of ZILs is relatively low, we find. And let people make use of staking more as a baseline, so that it's rational to always stake, so that you don't have any opportunity costs. And if you want to unstake, use one of the options available out there to do that.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, actually, that having the choice and the options that's coming, again, will support the community in driving more people to kind of come and play in the Zilliqa ecosystem, which I think is important.
So just to add on that, while they're staking, so they made the decision, okay, we can, I guess there are solutions to unbound or exit. So the stake amount will increase. And that's why we also thought of creating an auto staking solution, where we kind of calculate the right moment in time when, depending on the amount of ZIL you have, depending on the gas fees, what the right moment in time is to kind of claim your ZIL and compound it to maximize your yield, basically. So there's a yield and APR when you stake normally, but just, again, clicking by just one button, you kind of auto stake, and then you automatically go to an APY that is higher. And it sounds easy. Oh, we just, calculate some gas, but it's actually very complicated, because the gas fees vary depending on how much you stake. So we need to manually adjust everything with the formula to make sure that, what the maximal yield is for each person. So we took a while, but we came to a solution, and we think, that should be, I guess, rational as well. While you'll stake, why not auto stake, so you get more money in a sense, right?
Yeah, so basically, put your ZIL in, earn rewards, forget about it, you'll automatically stake. So when you come back to it, you're thinking, oh, I've missed a massive opportunity by not logging in every day. I guess that's another
exactly. You don't have to manually do it. And again, there are always solutions in the future where we can even automate things further, right? Where you can easily auto stake, instant on stake, set limit orders. I don't know. There are a lot of different kind of solutions with smart wallets to automate and innovate, but it's all depending on market data and what people really want, right? And then we're collecting.
Yeah, because one of the features we've been thinking about as well is, for example, you stake your ZIL automatically, and with your staking rewards, you automatically market buy specific Zilliqa tokens, be it XCOT or be it USDT, so that you constantly leverage your staking rewards and use them into something else. Because those features become possible. It's just a matter of programming. With more the regular wallets, which are more sort of like a visual front end on the blockchain to interact with, that's not possible. But
so I guess this is the thing. If you can educate people to use the wallet, you can then get them involved in more advanced techniques in the DeFi space by making it really simple and easy within your wallet. So it's actually quite a good approach that you're taking. And I think I like the kind of the choice thing as well. You've got probably the type of customer that you're going to have based on the way you approach it. And then, for example, Avali on the other side, they might have a different kind of mindset of person that wants that type of approach to kind of engage with them. So I do think having the competition is healthy, and having the choice also is massively important. I guess another conversation that comes up a lot is about who the person is and kind of reputation and what they're bringing to an ecosystem. So I guess you've kind of got an inbuilt reputation score or story. Do you want to kind of expand on that a little bit more and explain what that is and how that works?
Mm-hmm. Sure. So kind of this is, I think, the most interesting feature because it's, I think it's very useful for the future, is that we built a reputation system that where we could kind of, where people earn reputation based on the amount of ZILs they stake and the duration of the time they stake. So basically that means for us that we can basically know who is a real supporter, so to say, or who really is a core community member, because you can't kind of fake this. You get this instant loyalty because you can buy a token to take part in, let's say, getting reputation, right? So with other DAOs, usually they launch a token first, and then you are a community member for the DAO. But there's like an incentive disalignment because, yeah, you can just buy the token, and usually people that buy the token mostly care about the price of the token going up instead of governing and decision making to scale and grow the DAO. So the reputation system is kind of the foundation of the DAO, and it's kind of integrated with inside Torch, where every time you there's a staking cycle, you get some rewards, and with those rewards, with the reputation points, currently there are 7 levels, and you can basically get discounts on instant staking. So there's a different kind of fee percentage for each reputation level that is also automated. And you can get access to auto staking and get discounts on limit orders. But the idea would be that kind of this is a starting point, right? Again, from our perspective, is how do we create flywheels, and how do we kind of, let's say, lock users in a way that it's rational for them to stay with us and support us to kind of create a kind of a strong effect where there's more and more users over time. And as we add more features and more get more revenue, then kind of this flywheel will appear. So just shortly going through the flywheel, a flywheel would be the stake amount increases because, you know, the innovations we create, we get more loyal users and revenue because, you know, commissions and usage of the app. We use this money to reinvest and build more products and features. Then you get more users that can use the product that help and help bootstrap the new products. So let's say if we ever fork a app, for example, instead of starting from zero, right? We have a wallet for, let's say, a few thousand people. They can directly make use of that, maybe get an airdrop, and then even people that have higher reputation levels get whitelists or get extra tokens, so to say. So you kind of bootstrap these dApps as well. Then you get more users as well, which then again the stake amount should increase because if they buy Zill, they stake amount, and they kind of the cycle repeats. We're getting more users and more revenue. And ideally, for the super flywheel, if the Zill price increases because there's more revenue, there's more users and adoption, then from outside more people will come in. We get even more revenue from because the Zill price increases in dollar terms, and we can hire more developers and just keep building out. And everything is kind of composable and interconnected because of the smart contract wallet infrastructure. So we start from the protocol layer basically with the kind of foundational staking DeFi liquidity, and then we create a strong wallet infrastructure that can kind of connect well with the application layer, and as the blockchain kind of innovates and expands. And then from the application layer, whatever kind of solutions there are, like even with like what we did for instant staking or other features, we kind of seamlessly integrate those 3 components. And then the reputation system is kind of the advantage for users to not switch or stay, because the value they get out of it just keeps compounding over time with new features and new perks, so to say.
I like it. Nice.
With the reputation model, we still remain sort of agnostic in the sense that people who stake at other SSNs are still allowed in that sense to make use of our application, but they do pay a higher fee because they don't receive any discounts. So in that sense, we incentivize people rationally to stake with us or via us.
One quick question in terms of the stack. There's a question there. Does the wallet have a browser functionality? I guess, do you want to answer that one, Milan?
Mark, you can go ahead.
Yeah, not yet, because, but we're working on that. We're working on a V1 version. So yes, we do realize that a browser extension is needed, of course, also to integrate via desktop on Zillion, or via to be able to log in on ZillSwap or Zillet, for example. So yes, those are that's something we are working on. We have some more features that we are working on, but browser extension is high on our list. Yes, check.
What about ZRC2 tokens as well? People are asking whether that's going to be something that we're going to be able to kind of stake and unstake. Is that something that's going to be down the pipe at some stage?
It could be. That could be. If there's enough, what we've seen, that from the idea process until the idea process execution and the actual delivery, we did underestimate the process of how much time and effort it took to actually create a smart wallet. Now that the infrastructure is there, there's less pain as it's easier to extend and build upon. But getting the whole infrastructure from the ground up, there was no easy feat. So integrating or creating solutions where we can do the same for ZRC2 tokens, that is possible. But we are limited in our developer capacity. So we do have to be very cautious and precise with which features we're going to support.
Yeah. There's so many things you can do. It's just kind of deciding which ones are most important.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. And that's also where we sort of would like the help of the community, because now we're driving, we're behind the steering wheel of what we think, and it's not fully isolated. Of course, we view the market, we view what happens within Zilliqa and the ecosystem. But in the end, that's the end goal, that the community becomes much more active in driving where IgniteDAO and Torch Wallet is going. But for that to become possible, we first want to create, we want to create a stable revenue so that we have actually something to build upon.
Yeah, that's important. So I guess from an IgniteDAO perspective, Torch, you've obviously talked about a lot of things. Have you got a kind of a 3-year viewpoint of where that's heading that you can share with everyone who's listening? What's the ambition long term?
Do you want me to start, Mark, or you? Or give your
sure.
vision?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay, so the way I kind of visualize things is that I really like kind of the composable nature of blockchain crypto, where you see it on Ethereum and other chains, is that once you have composability, creates this strong synergy and exponential kind of loop where different applications kind of click like kind of money Lego pieces. And what I always found kind of fundamentally missing in the blockchain space as a whole is creating like a super wallet. Like if you look at Web 2.0, I always was very confused why there weren't like more WeChat like apps in the West. Like WhatsApp is just only has chat, right? And now they're probably innovating a little bit more because of competition. But if you look at WeChat, you can do everything inside their kind of wallet, so to say, right? So I think the long-term vision is that you have one kind of secure, smart wallet that's kind of, like I said, like a small mini computer that you can connect your ledger in or your seed phrase. And then you have all these different options to do inside kind of the DeFi NFT landscape, so to say, where you kind of not only have this kind of loyalty program integrated in it, but also kind of make money, so to say, in a kind of easy way, or take opportunities that you can leverage because you kind of are part of this ecosystem. And then long term, it would be things like obviously getting a browser extension to attract more people. But then also kind of an EVM integration from a technical perspective to also allow for more composable applications, and then also innovate a little bit step further and think about what is missing for the blockchain space as a whole, where smart contract wallets or just wallets in general have to find solutions for. And we have those pinpoints already that we know that, if like, for example, games need to scale up or other kind of niches in the blockchain space, how do you create kind of wallet solutions for that so they can kind of build faster or have able to innovate? So we think the wallet layer it's not talked about a lot, but I think fundamental in the future of crypto, because everybody goes through a wallet, so to say, right? If we're going to ever have billions of people in crypto, they're all going to have at least one wallet. but you need to design the wallet in a way that can scale, but also is able to provide as much value for users. So once they are kind of locked in the ecosystem, you create this win-win environment where we benefit, but also them, and then we can kind of keep building, keep adding all these other Lego blocks, so you could create this exponential leap for everyone.
Sounds amazing. So, and then Mark, from your perspective, I guess maybe starting to round this out, macro, what's happening? Where are we heading the next year?
Well, yeah, I find it a bit hard to say. I've been around for a while, but in general terms, I don't. I'm a bit hesitant if we're bearish, bullish. It's still very fluctuating. But yeah, I do recognize that the last few cycles I was much more affected by being in a bearish or bullish sentiment, and as of now we're just building. So we do of course feel the results of a bear market in the sense with FUD or it has a negative impact on us, on our revenue, of course. But we're very conservative, I would say, in the sense of spending our the income we generate. So yeah, we're always trying to go for the long route, and that sort of pays off, I think. And how I see the overall the market, I think there are some interesting things happening. Of course, with the centralized lending platforms being crushed to the ground, so to say. FTX collapse, regulation of the SEC coming in. From our perspective, from a non-custodial perspective, I think we are in a pretty good spot. That's partially some luck, partially our own ethos, in the sense that we fully focus on non-custodial, because I think that's the beauty of it. So yeah, I think, like Milan said, everybody needs to go through a wallet if you interact with blockchain. So there's enough opportunity over there. It's just that the market is innovating and catching up quickly. So we have to keep up with that pace, and finding our own maybe niche and sweet spot on how we can serve people. And if we move to multi-chain, then it will open up a lot of possibilities for us. So yeah, I'm not too in crypto. I've learned that it's very hard to look 1, 2, 3 years ahead. It's so volatile, not only in a sense of speculation and value, but also in terms of innovation and things that are happening. So yeah, I try to remain short focused, and not that I have a short focused, only a short focus, but I try to see what's happening on the micro stuff to keep very close to the market to see what's happening on the longer stuff. But yeah, it's a bit hard. But I do see in general, crypto will become more and more infrastructure is being built. There's regulation coming in, good or bad, and blockchain is here to stay. It will not disappear. And there's definitely a place for wallets, and definitely for smart wallets, in my opinion.
I like it. So basically, go find a wallet that offers users value, which is kind of what's ringing through in my ears here. So what is the ask then of everyone listening in? Where can they find you? What do they need to download? What do they need to do? Do you want to kind of let people know?
Yeah, sure. So basically, we are on the app stores. So if you just search Torch Wallet on your iOS device or your Android device, you can find us there and just download the app and then create a smart wallet. You can also visit torchwallet.io with some more background info, or join, follow us on Twitter or Telegram for more information. And yeah, we're always kind of available to give some more context information. And yeah, like I said, everything, if you stake with us, it just helps us exponentially, because we kind of hire more people and we have a pretty strong team. But yeah, if we can get more revenue, we can get more talented people in one place. And then not everybody has to rely just on, Zilliqa research to build everything. Because if if we keep getting more revenue streams, we could just keep building, and then other developers will join, and then other people will start their own projects, have their own spin-offs. So it creates this very strong network effect, and we hope people will realize that if you're staking, stake with SSNs, and if you believe other SSNs are also adding value, stake with them. But stake with SSNs that actually are building something on Zilliqa, and not just have an SSN node, but aren't actively finding good solutions to add value to the ecosystem. So yeah, that would be my take.
All right. Well, on behalf of Zilliqa and the whole Zilliqa community, thanks very much for joining this AMA today. For me, I learned a lot about the new wallet that's coming, and from everything that you've said, there's a lot of value to be had, I would suggest, by downloading the Torch wallet. So yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in, and hopefully we can get you guys on in a few months' time to hear how things are going and kind of what the future holds. Cheers.
Sounds good. Thanks a lot, Matt. And thanks everyone for joining. All right.
Thank you. Bye-bye.